I spoke with my Airbnb guest yesterday. We were talking about female circumcision, and it's a very interesting topic to deal with. I, for one, am not someone who advocates for female circumcision. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. I know that I've talked to some women who've had it done, and they gave me their perspective on it, which I thought was very interesting. They were actually advocating for it, and they said that it's not as bad as some people put out there as it seems. Now, again, I'm not advocating, to make it very clear, I'm not advocating in favor of female circumcision. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't want it done to her. But this is what they told me. They said that the West has, as they do with most things that's not American, Western, or European, they demonize it, particularly if it's something that's coming from black people here in America or anywhere in the diaspora. They demonize it. And she told me, she said that despite what people think, that female circumcision does not always end in women not being able to enjoy sex, not being able to get orgasms, not being able to have children without it, have children, or any of those things. But on the contrary, they can still do all those things. If it's done safely, it's done in an environment where you have adequate health care, adequate hospitals, adequate medical professionals, that all these things can be done well. And all these things can be done without there being any kind of harm to the daughters and to the girls later on in life. This is what she told me. And I thought that was a very interesting perspective for her to have that viewpoint. And the reason why this came up, because we talked about how you're having transgenderism that's being pushed on children, on kids 6 years old, being given medication so they can't conceive a child, or to kill the sperm count, or condoning them having sexual reassignment surgery when they're still in junior high school. Things are utterly ridiculous, because they can't sit up and tell me that these same kids, by the time they reach the age of 18, 21, or maybe 30 years old, they may decide, this is not the kind of life that I want to live. I want to live a more conventional life. You come across people that walk around who used to be homosexual, or at least they engaged in homosexual activity when they were young, and they decided once they got into their 30s and 40s that this is not the kind of life they wanted to live. And they decided to get married, settle down, have children. These things are realities. But I think that there is a very insidious plan out there to try to propagandize individuals into this sort of lifestyle. And they're pushing it heavy. And they're trying to make things that are acceptable to society that are potentially harmful for people in society. Things that they can't take back, things they will regret for the rest of their lives. And this is part of what's happening now. I don't care whether or not someone is 18 years old and they're an adult and they've lived life and they've decided, I want to live my life as a woman. I say, knock yourself out. If you want to sit up and cut off your dick and balls and you want to change it to a vajayjay, that's on you. That's your business. That's on you. I'm not going to pay for it. I don't think the taxpayers should have to pay for that. I don't think that anybody should have to pay for such a thing. But if that's what you want to do, if you want to change your name from Bruce to Caitlin or whatever you want to do, that's your business, and I say go for it. However, I do have a problem when this whole thing is being pushed on kids who are still developing, who are not mentally or physically developed or mature at that point, and they can't sit up and make a sound decision for themselves. And they can't sit up and make a sound decision for themselves at this point, something so permanent, because who's not to say that by the time they get 25 years old or 30 years old, they'll sit up and they'll say, this is not the kind of life I want to live. I tried it. I don't like this sort of lifestyle. I want to go and live a more conventional life. And people do that. You do have people out there that do that. So I can't support it. I can't endorse it. I think it's wrong. I think it's abusive to sit up and to do that to children. But this is what they're pushing right now in the public. They're trying to get the rest of us on board and speak up about it. They want to sit up and label you as being the problem, as being a homophobe, as being transphobic is now the term. All of it's nonsense. All of it. Well, I guess justice and righteousness is becoming illegal and outlawed now. Because I know, like in states like New York, if you actually don't call somebody by their gender pronoun, they can actually arrest you or fine you for such a thing. You know, so you got black people all over America who have no place to live and no places to work, living on the streets. I live here in Los Angeles, and I see literally hundreds, if not thousands, of black people all across this city living in tents, living on the streets. Gentrification has hit them hardcore. But no one wants to talk about that, and yet I'm supposed to advocate because somebody wants to get a sex change. Get real. I'm not going to do it. So those are my thoughts on those issues. You can be 18 years old and go get a sex change, and I got no problem with it, but I'm not going to sit up and co-sign somebody forcing their child or allowing their child to do that. No way, no how. Not today, not tomorrow, not in 100 years will you see me doing that. But anyway, I digress. This is Rob for Rob's Rants. I'm putting in my 2 cents. Go ahead and click the button, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you soon. Later.